Today, my friends, we have for you a breakdown of Town Hall 11 Hybrid. We're going to teach you guys everything of this strategy and more in this video. So that is right, guys, we're going over Hybrid here at Town Hall 11. So we're going to be breaking this down for you guys in a way where it's a little bit easier for you guys to understand. And we're going to be looking at different methods of breaking in. The only thing that we don't have access for you guys is going to be the battle blimp, which is going to be a Yeti bomb or a Yeti blimp, however you want to call it. That we won't have in this video, but just know that that is another great way to sort of talk about it. I've done videos on it before in the past. I think I did one video with Hybrid and a Yeti bomb at Town Hall 11, so I'd highly suggest you guys definitely look at that video. It's going to be a little bit in the past, maybe a month ago from this upload, but other than that, we want to kind of give you guys into the understanding of this strategy. So before we actually jump into it, let's talk about base identification first. So base identification is going to determine on whether or not, which siege are you going to bring. So this means if you see single infernos a lot, which I bet some of you guys do, then you want to look at the town hall in terms of a battle blimp and say, all right, so if I am going to walk into or jump into this inferno comp, then why not I funnel this out? Then I can use the king down here, or maybe even like over here, send him in there, or probably, yeah, exactly where I said it, and then send your Miner Hog Hybrid in here. That's just, one sort of thing I can give as an example, but that is the base identification you need to look for. At Town Hall 11 with a battle blimp, you are trying to make sure that you are getting rid of an inferno composition or compartment, as long as you can lure out the CC. So here in this example, you can do that. That is an option. Now, on top of that, what are some other things that you need to know about base identification with Hybrid? Well, another thing is the siege barrack. So the siege barrack is really common. I mean, you guys probably see in a lot of my videos at Town Hall 11, and I know you guys don't always have access to it, which is why I brought up the siege or the battle blimp first, this Yeti bomb, the Yeti blimp. So the biggest thing with a siege barrack, it's definitely a little bit different. For one, you are looking for some value by charging your queen in. With a battle blimp, with the Yeti bomb, you're not doing that. You don't need to. So instead, you're just going to be using a queen walk. But I gave that example as a charge in some way, but definitely it's using a walk for the most part. So in terms of this, there are multiple ways that you can actually charge your queen in. You're either going to use regular wall breakers, super wall breakers, or a jump spell. So in this example, we notice that there is super wall breakers. So what I want you guys to understand here is we are charging our queen into the base to where, okay, we can get the eagle, but we can also lure out the CC. So we're just looking for value to where that CC lies, and then we just want to do other things like that. So I will play the example just so that then you guys have something to sort of watch and learn from as I give you guys some tips. Hopefully then you guys aren't, so bored. So I want to make sure that I am just keeping that in mind for you guys. But with all that being said, the big thing that we're doing here in this example of just funneling, is to create the funnel for your queen charge. So we had 2 balloons going into this defense, which allows us to cut this area off. Even though that there's a Tesla there, our queen will not go that direction. Now, when we're using super wall breakers, it's pretty easy. We don't need to worry about anything, and we can actually just drive into the base really easily. But you want to make sure that if your queen is taking a lot of heavy fire, then you want to rage her up. Don't be afraid to use your rage spells with that, because you want to keep your queen alive for as long as possible. Now, when I talk about defensive CCs that you may see, like E-Drag, Golem, Lava Hound, or even damage CCs, this works very well against each and every single one of them. It's really not that difficult. Now, on the opposite side, like you'll see right here, we have the king and the siege barrack going in to create the other side of the funnel. What they're doing is we've got that section cleared. Our queen is clearing up this entire section about right here. And what this leaves us with a funnel that is basically like this. This is what's leaving us to drive into the base with the miners. That is what our sole purpose what this strategy is. So remember, step 1 is to create the funnel. Step 2 is to deal with the enemy CC. After that, you're just trying to continue that funnel, and after that, you can start sending in your hybrid. Though remember, you can definitely take it slow, send in your miners, and then your hog riders after your Grand Warden is placed with your miners. So like you saw in this example, place down his miners, warden, and then his hog riders. He wants to make sure everything is driving into the base so that then he is able to keep those miners and hogs in as much as possible and to get through that section. So you'll see that as we zoom in here, we're going to use a warden ability right about now, which is going to allow us to not use the other heal, and it's going to allow our miners and hog riders to stay in the base and actually be able to sort of, we don't need a heal for them. So that is why we're using that ability there. With the heals, you can use a heal like in the first section, and then you want to use it later on. So that is all that you guys need to know about this strategy. I mean, it is super simple, and I wanted to make sure that this was a somewhat quick first example, but still giving you guys a lot of really good tips early on. So for those of you who are probably going to dip out after this example, thank you guys for watching, but we have more examples here for you guys to really hopefully open your guys' minds up into using this strategy and what base designs they work against and all of that, and why the attackers chose it here. So we've got another example, and there's a couple things I want you guys to understand. Before we actually jump into this example, I want you guys to really quickly take a look at this entire base design. Is there really a need for any way to jump into the base? Kind of, because especially since we see that there are some openings here in the base. So if we take a look at like something like here, it's the same thing on this side. So there are some openings in the base where we can just easily walk our queen in. So you may think, all right, how about we just funnel here, funnel this way, and we get our queen into here, taking out the CC, which it is lurable if you take a look. Yep, we can definitely lure it out. And we can also get the eagle. Well, here's the thing. We want to take out at least this entire section. We want to at least walk for half of that. So we want to make sure that we are using the super wall breaker, which will allow us to get in there. And instead of walking like this, we're just having a straight line pathing. That's it. So that's all we want to make sure that we're doing. So that means that we would use maybe 2 balloons on this defense, on the cannon, and then maybe using the baby dragon over here to create the funnel, maybe a king down over here, something like that. So you just got to be very creative in terms of, what you think is the best way of creating the funnel for the queen, and then simultaneously, how are you going to apply that to creating the funnel for your hybrid? That is going to be the main thing. So the queen charge here is going to allow you, with that super wall breaker, to get into the base. Now in the previous one, we had 2 super wall breakers. Here we only have 1. You'll notice that we do have an E-drag and a baby dragon. This is going to allow us to create this side of the funnel. So this means that the queen is not going to go in that direction. So we've already cut her off. After that, builder hut, I almost had a brain fart there, goes down. Now we're getting everything to move in this way. Now, as that's going through, we don't even need to really worry about it. Just got to play some rage spells there. We're going to use the king over here, which should be going this way, along with the P.E.K.K.A. and the siege barrack. So what we're trying to make sure that we're doing is our funneling for our entire attack is going to look like this. That is how easy this strategy really is. So don't think that you guys can't really use this because, oh, there's a single inferno. Then you could definitely still Yeti bomb. There's a lot of open possibilities. Even if you have to bring a free spell, then definitely try to do that. Now you'll see in this example, we've got a bunch of archers in the CC. Nothing else, just archers. So you guys can definitely tell that, this is an easier base to hit with hybrid because we don't have to worry about the CC. It was just a bunch of archers. That would definitely be a problem if we didn't have a poison. But you'll see that as we're driving everything in, we are not using our warden until we get closer to that inferno. Once that inferno starts to lock onto a lot of those miners and the hog riders, we can either freeze them up like you see right there, healing them up as well, but we can still use our Grand Warden as there's going to be still a lot of damage around those. So we want to make sure that we are keeping our warden to go through with the miners and keep everything alive as they're driving through. And that is really just an example of, you know, a really weird inferno compartment. Now, of course, the infernos were being protected by the sweepers, so it would have been a little bit more difficult to use a Yeti bomb on this. So you got to really determine on, okay, if there's single infernos, then do you really need to charge into the singles? If not, like you saw here, we didn't even go to those singles or to the multis at all with the queen. You guys can tell it's just always going to be base dependent. But now we're going to move on into another example, hopefully opening you guys up to more of the hybrid. So now we have a different variety here. We're actually going to be looking at a jump being used. No super wall breakers, no super troops. We've just got the jump spell to charge our way into the inferno. So this base design's a little bit different. You'll see that we have the enemy CC all the way up here. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to funnel our queen by using bowlers, the ice golem, and the king. That is able to establish a funnel there. Even if it looks like a small kill squad, which kind of is, it definitely allows us to actually get through this section and cut this area off from even using the queen charge. And our queen charge is going to work her way into here, into this multi-inferno, thanks to the jump spell. That jump is going to allow us to get in there and clear that side. Then we could use a siege barrack over here on this side, and now we can send in the miner straight into the eagle. You got to really consider every little thing about this strategy. So that means that if you are clearing a funnel out on this side of the base, then what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are creating a funnel on the other side, which will allow you to establish a clear funnel for your hybrid. So that sounds pretty easy, right? So hopefully that does, and I hope that kind of helps you guys understand it. Again, if you were going to use a Yeti bomb, remember to take a look at the sweepers. Definitely see what value can you get with it. And you'll notice as well is that there is a expo farm. And you guys may have asked before about expo farms, but for those of you who don't know what it is, an expo farm is typically going to be a bunch of expos either in a line or near each other, and that's going to basically be a heavy point defense area. Now, unlike the previous two enemy clan castles, in this example, we have for you a damage CC. More so, it's a dragon damage CC. So you'll see from here is that we've got that clear funnel being set for that queen, which means that after she targets that gold collector, gold mine, she's going to then start working her way in. We're raging her up because she's going to be dealing with the enemy CC, which it is a dragon, but shouldn't be too much of a problem. Even with an activated eagle, it's not going to be that bad. So as long as we're getting value from the charge, and even if we have to pop her ability, which we don't really need to, as long as we're using those rage spells, we can definitely get a lot of really good value, and then just taking care of the infernos, and that's really all you have to sort of do. Now you'll see from here is that we are now dropping in our siege barrack, and that's going to allow us to create the other side of our funnel. So our miners are going to kind of move in kind of like this into the base, almost like a funnel in some way. You know, like an actual funnel, not just, you know, funneling in the game. You know, you're actually creating the shape of a funnel in order to get everything to drive in. So as all the P.E.K.K.A.s and the wizards are going to move their way to create the funnel for your miners and hogs, your hogs and miners are just working into the base, making sure that they're moving into each and every defense. So as everything starts to move through, stuff like this is going to be really easy. And of course, we're not really going into anything super difficult, so that's why we use the ability in order to protect our miners and hog riders as they start to go into like a multi-inferno and even the expo farm. So that is really why, you know, you've got to use that warn ability a little bit early so that then we're protecting them as they enter into that section. Then we can heal them up as we get through it. So that's really easy. Very, very simple. Hopefully that's a good example and a good way to sort of break this down. I hope you guys are still learning something and enjoying from this video. I know I may sound a little bit bored or boring, but hopefully I don't. I'm just trying to be engaging to you guys, and hopefully you guys are understanding all the tips that I have here for you guys in this video. So if you made this far, remember to leave a like on the video. Really, I would appreciate it. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell to join the Corrupt fam and to never miss an upload. Let's go ahead and move on into our last example using this strategy and breaking it down. So we've got something a little bit different here, and you're going to notice that we do have super wall breakers and super goblins in this army composition, and we have normal wall breakers. How is this possible? Well, the big thing is, remember that they are not like, a seasonal thing. So they don't disappear after the cooldown. They actually will stay in your army slot until you either remove it or use it. So that is the whole thing about that. So that means that he either had super wall breakers or wall breakers, I guess, supered up, and then he supered up the goblins the next week. So he had basically a super wall breaker and 2 super goblins still. And then he still had his regular wall breakers. But again, this is a really unique way. And you'll notice that we even have a jump spell. So you can combine super troops and jump to really allow you to get a lot more value. Now you'll see on this base here, we've got a couple things. We've got an expo farm, like I've said before. It's a combination of expos like around each other or even in a straight line. It's basically a point defense farm. But it's like a Tesla farm, but it's expos. Another thing is, we've got the CC very lurable. So that's where we want to start. We want to start here because we want to start and charging into here. This is what we're trying to do is we're trying to clear this section like this. This just gives us that little box area that's where we're trying to create that funnel. So as we play this, I want you guys to I want to zoom in really quickly so you guys understand and see what we're doing. So we're going to drop that queen. Notice that she's not in range just yet. So we're just allowing her to sort of pick these off. We're using the super goblins on the dark elixir drills in order to create ourselves a funnel there. So now we're going to deal with the CC, which is a really interesting CC. I've seen it very recently. Double witch, goblins, and archers. Something a little bit different, something unique, but that is still considered, in my taste, a sort of damage CC. It's a lot more fragile, but it's a damage CC. So you'll see here is that we are using that test wall breaker, seeing if there's any small bombs, and then we're using the super wall breaker. And that's going to allow us to get into this compartment, or at least this open side here. Even though it's open and our queen could just walk around here, it's better as long as we are keeping her funnel to go into the base. Now, you'll see that even though we already did the test wall breaker, we're not doing it again. We know that there's not going to be another wall break. So what we're doing is we're doing a double wall break. So basically what we're doing is we broke it into here, and now we're breaking in here after the funnel has been set. So you'll see that now we are going to be driving into the base, and we're using the king to continue that funnel for the queen. So that then the king can get more value like you see down here. And then also we've got the queen going in, dealing with the enemy queen. So we've now dealt with 2 things, and definitely it's getting a lot easier. And now look at that, we're using the jump. So the use of this is basically getting a deeper charge into the base. So if you think that you can actually do this, then feel free. You can definitely try it. It's a good example. This is a great example of using all 3 combined. I mean, the super troops, the super goblins, the super wall breakers, the regular wall breakers, and also the jump to really get you a lot of value. So what you're seeing here is we dropped in the siege barrack up here. So that siege barrack is here. And now we've got the miners and the hog riders going in this way. So the queen has cleared this entire section for the miners and the hog riders to have easy pathing in. So you'll see that now, as everything is starting to move in, we have the hog riders from the CC, and they're going to just help out with the outer defenses over here. So as everything is driving in here into the Inferno, into the Eagle compartment where all of the point defenses are, that's where we want to pop the Warren ability in order to keep everything alive, and then just use the heal spells there in order to make sure that we're driving through. And that is a really simple example. I mean, I've given you guys so many tips in this video. I hope you guys will take these away, and all the examples I really show is just to help you guys with base identification. See what the attacker does. I would definitely say watch this more than once just to get the idea of what the attacker was doing. I'm nowhere near the best at explaining something. And I appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving me on this channel. I really do appreciate it. So I may not be, the 100% the best person to explain stuff, but I try my best, and hopefully that really helps you guys 3-star a lot better. That's the whole goal of this channel, is just to help you guys out, help the community, and hopefully you guys will become better attackers at Town Hall 11, 12, or even 13. So hopefully, with that being said, guys, that is going to do it for the video. Remember that to not forget to subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you guys don't miss anything, and to join the Corrupt fam. Also, leave a like. It really does mean a lot on this video. And don't forget to go ahead and feel free to join my community Discord server, or follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Twitch. Those are definitely greatly appreciated. And also, don't forget to join any of the clans that I cover in the description below. Feel free to go ahead and see what Discords you like to join. Another big thing is that Elite Academy, like you saw throughout this whole video, is back with the Buy Forever family. So if you're looking forward to joining a clan in the Buy Forever fam, then definitely this is going to be the clan to do it. Just remember that they are league focused. But other than that, guys, that is going to do it. Hopefully you guys will if you guys want to, you guys can support me further by being able to join as a channel member, or maybe even buying any merch from Playmakers Wanted. I'm leaving a link down in the description for it, and or subscribing to me over there on Twitch. And also, don't forget to follow me on MadCat too. I completely forgot to mention that. But with that being said, guys, that is going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and learned something. I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.